right, welcome into the postgame show, everybody. Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. I'm Dan Tanner for your Denver Nuggets postgame show. In the paint, a record-setting night for Nikola Jokic as the Suns lose to the Denver Nuggets in overtime. What a fantastic finish. 149 to 141 is your final. So Nikola Jokic tonight, first 30-20-20 game in NBA history. The most assists in a game by a center ever. Ties LeBron James in 30-point triple-doubles, and it was the most assists in a 30-point triple-double. Wow. What an unbelievable performance we witnessed here at Ball Arena tonight from the best player on planet Earth, Nikola Jokic. This was an absolute masterclass here at Ball Arena tonight. And I mean, my goodness, we talk about how the Nuggets have seemed to underperform on national TV games, and maybe that hurts Nikola Jokic's MVP case. Well, if that is true, then tonight has to help his MVP case, because this was obviously a nationally televised game on ESPN, and this was one of the best individual performances I've ever seen in my life, on television or live here in person. It was absolutely incredible. You could tell Nikola had it going early on. He was doing no-look dime passes to the painted area under the basket, no-look passes to the corner for wide-open threes. I mean, this was like the first quarter. So you could tell right away that Nikola Jokic just absolutely had it going tonight. That was an unbelievable performance from the best player on planet Earth, Nikola Jokic. As always, feel free to leave me your comments. I'd love to get to those, and we'll break this game down. We're going to hear from Nuggets head coach Michael Malone. He has some really cool stuff to say. I just got back up here from downstairs in Coach Malone's press conference, and he was talking about Aaron Gordon. It was really cool. He was asked, what has Aaron Gordon done to really improve his jump shot? So obviously in the first quarter, one of the coolest sequences in tonight's game was back-to-back-to-back-to-back three-pointers from Aaron Gordon in that first quarter. He was on fire. I mean, he just came out of the gates absolutely shooting flamethrowers, as our friend Kevin Harlan would say. And it was just an unbelievable performance from Aaron Gordon. His first game back. Oh, I'm having some. Give me one sec here. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, first game back for Aaron Gordon. It was absolutely phenomenal. And, this is a wild performance from AG. He obviously had missed the last several games, and to come out and have this performance, like to hit 4 threes in a row in the first quarter after being out a while, is a testament to Aaron Gordon's work ethic. By the way, I fixed my video quality there. I just hardwired my computer, so sorry about that. The Wi-Fi here at Ball Arena is not great, but the hardwire is good. So, but it was really cool. Michael Malone said, I wish you guys, talking to us, the media folks there in the press room, saying, I wish you guys could take a peek behind the curtain to see just how hard Aaron Gordon works. And he wasn't just saying Aaron Gordon. He was mentioning the entire team, but he was saying, like, Aaron Gordon, if you don't know, his house in Florida, this actually became kind of a big story in the finals because the Nuggets were obviously in Miami for games 3 and 4. Aaron Gordon invites the team over to his house to have dinner, hang out, and do whatever. But he has a court, in his house in Florida. And Coach Malone was saying, like, he basically said Aaron Gordon was kind of a weirdo. He said it in a much nicer way, and he didn't mean it badly, but he was just saying, he's his own dude. But he stays true to himself. And he's like, this guy will wake up in the middle of the night and go into his gym and put up, 100 jump shots or something like that. I mean, it really is insane for us in the media and all the fans out there to not realize just how freaking hard all of these guys work at their craft. Now, look, not everybody's the same. But the guys who thrive at this level, they're psychopaths. There's no other way to say it. Michael Jordan, psychopath. I think Nikola Jokic has a little bit of psychopathness in him. And I mean that lovingly, because in order to consistently be good or great at this level, you have to be a little bit of a psychopath and ultra competitive. So it was absolutely insane. Now, the end of regulation, I see some people here in the comment section chatting about this. Awesome three-pointer by Christian Braun. The Nuggets blew an 18-point lead, okay? So let's not get that twisted. They played tremendously quarters 1 through 3. I thought they sort of kind of thought they had this one in the bag going into the fourth quarter. They blow an 18-point lead. Phoenix ties it up. Christian Braun comes down the court. Great pass by Jokic. He was right at the free throw line, and Christian Braun was wide open at the top of the three-point line, drains it. The Nuggets go up by 3, 125-122. There's, 1.4 seconds left. Phoenix calls a timeout, and then somebody fell asleep on that defensive possession for the Nuggets because Kevin Durant was wide open in the corner. I don't know what the game plan was there. I'm sure Coach Malone will be showing them that on the film, but that's a good, hopefully, learning lesson in crunch time situations moving forward for the rest of the season, because that's a scenario where you have to know your coverages. So little hiccup there at the end of regulation, but the Nuggets just came out and absolutely dominated the start of the overtime. They started on a 7-0 run in overtime. By the way, just to go back to the end of regulation as well, a lot of coaches challenges. The Nuggets challenge, they win. Phoenix challenges, they lose. So that helped them get this thing into overtime. But that overtime period, Nikola Jokic just continued to dominate this basketball game. And really, I think that's one of the reasons, the biggest reason specifically in overtime, why they were able to just blitz the Phoenix Suns in that overtime period. They were absolutely dominant in that game. But I mean, just a fantastic game overall from Denver's entire roster, really. I mean, other than Zeke Naji, just offensively wasn't anything special tonight, but I thought he was really good again on the defensive end. And I'm telling you, if Zeke continues to play defensively the way he has been this season, he is really going to continue to get minutes, and he might be in contention to be in the rotation come playoff time if he continues to play this way defensively. Let's see here. Russell Westbrook, I thought, was really effective again tonight. Peyton Watson looked like he was more comfortable his second game back, so that was really good to see. And like I said, the starters were fantastic. How about Michael Porter Jr.? I mean, he really struggled through portions of this game, but in overtime, I can't remember if it was overtime at the end of regulation. This game just bleeds together. The Nuggets miss a shot. Mason Plumlee gets the rebound, and Michael and Joker were kind of there, and Joker puts his hand on the ball, and then Michael just comes and rips it away and puts it right in. So that was a really big moment in the basketball game as well. So good to see Michael continue to be around the rim when he's struggling. I've talked about that a lot. So that was absolutely fantastic to see. Christian Braun, I mean, I'm telling you what, everybody, this guy is a star. Like, he's not just a good starter for this team. He is an absolute star. So, and he's only in his third year. He's going to continue to get better. His three-point shooting has significantly improved. He wasn't a bad three-point shooter by any means in his first 2 years, but he is much more comfortable and much more reliable shooting the basketball, like we saw at the end of regulation to put the Nuggets up by 3 before Kevin Durant tied it up with his corner 3 to send it to overtime. But excellent stuff here from the Nuggets. In fact, let's go ahead and listen or hear from the Nuggets head coach, Michael Malone. He had some interesting things to say in his post-game press conference.
Coach, I know not the ideal result to have to go into overtime on that one, but how much good experiences in this team? I know it was mentioned that the team had only played 17 games with this lineup or something around there. So good experience for this group.
Oh, great experience. And as I told our guys after the Durant three to tie the game, I said, fellas, we didn't lose. Like, everybody pick your heads up. We got 5 minutes to play. Let's go out there and win the game. And I thought our fourth quarter execution offensively was just terrific. We were poised, we executed, we read the defense, made the right play over and over. To score 24 points in 5 minutes, obviously, is a thing to behold. I love the fact that we had 31 fast break points. We had 64 in the paint. That's who we've been all year long. Probably my favorite stat, the 45 assists, only 9 turnovers. And before I get to Nikola, Jamal Murray, last 2 games, 16 assists, only 1 turnover. I mean, outstanding job of running the team, reading the situation, scoring when he should score, getting off of it when he should get off of it. That's what you want from your floor general. I think Jamal's been doing that at a very high level. And Nikola Jokic is one of one. I mean, the first player to ever have a 30, 20, and 20 game. I can't describe him, so don't ask me to. The guy's just an incredible player. And when you are one of one in this league and the tremendous history of this league, that says a lot. And there's a lot of good players in this league, but Nikola, in my opinion, is just in a class all by himself.
Can you describe the History Channel viewing experience then, if you can't describe him, what it was like for you to watch him dominate in the way that he did?
I had no idea that he had 30, 20, and 20, and I had no idea that he was the first to do it. I think I heard Nikola saying to Russ, you didn't get 30, 20, 20 before? Because they have so many shared historical accomplishments. But throughout the game, obviously, you see how Nikola's impacting the game with the rebounding, the scoring, the playmaking. And it's hard to give a DP or G out when you give up 141 points. So I didn't give a chain out tonight. But if I did give one, it would be to Nikola. That team, it got to a point where they run so many pick and rolls, and Nikola's levels to me were so effective. Their guards, their forwards started saying, don't come play pick and roll. I'd rather play one-on-one than have to deal with 2 defenders all over me. Wow. And that's a credit to Nikola, being up, being active, having 21 defensive rebounds or 17 defensive rebounds, 3 steals. Everybody says he can't defend, but we all know that's not true. The guy's a hell of a defender, and I think you saw everything on full display tonight on an entertaining game, and just thankful we were able to come out with the victory.
He has kind of maintained that guys who are open, even if it's part of a team's game plan, whatever the situation is, should take the open shots. How much is kind of how important is his kind of willingness to trust those guys to kick out to Christian in that situation at the end of regulation?
Well, I mean, if you know Nikola for 10 years, he's always going to make the right play. And when he's got 2, 3 defenders on him, he's going to find the open man. And Christian Brown was a 38% 3-point shooter last year, shooting 37% this year from the 3-point line. He's coming off of a game against Sacramento where he shot the ball really well from 3. So we all have belief in Christian Brown. We all have belief in a lot of our guys that teams are daring to shoot. Well, shoot the ball. I mean, and continue to prove teams wrong for whatever they're trying to employ. But Christian almost had a game winner, which would have been outstanding for him. So deserving. But he has 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. What a complete basketball game by him. But again, this is an important game to get these 2 games at home, understanding with 19 to go now, just the quality of opponents that we have coming up.
Coach, I know you, like Brian said, probably didn't want to go to OT, but do you allow yourself to enjoy the atmosphere, especially when it feels like you're going to be able to put it away? I mean,
of course. Yeah, man. Like, if you don't find joy in this, why do it? I've been around people in this business. I've been around this league a long time that, would never find any joy in it. Even after a win, it was just the sky is falling. I'm opposite, man. You got to celebrate the victories. You got to celebrate the moments. That's what life is all about. But there's obviously, you celebrate for 5 minutes, then you turn the page. Oh, my goodness, we got OKC coming up. But the crowd was amazing. Was tonight 101, Katie? Was this 101 and counting? But the atmosphere, the crowd, I thought was outstanding, and they have so much to do with our success on the court, and we appreciate them.
How impactful was having your Gordon back?
Well, 27, 7 of 10 from 3, got it going early. And obviously, Kevin Durant's a tough cover, but AG was up for that challenge and trying to do whatever he could to slow him down. But it allows us to get back to our normal operating procedures in terms of our starting group, our bench lineups. And, I thought, Russ and Peyton off the bench combined for 25. So we got up. We almost gave it away. We had poise and composure down the stretch, and we were able to get it away in overtime. I think 5-0 in overtime games now this year. And then we'll try to get some rest and get ready to go to OKC and battle a division opponent.
Okay, but seriously, what did Aaron do to get a shot like this? What did he do?
I mean, as you know, you've been around this league. When a guy shoots like that, Aaron puts a lot of time into his craft. He's got a gym in his house. Guy, I think, wakes up in the middle of the night. He's not your normal dude, man. Like Aaron's, operates on a different wavelength, but he's true to himself, which I admire and respect so much. He's a beautiful person, but he puts time in. I mean, that's the thing we always talk about. I wish you guys could peek behind that curtain, whether it's in our gym, his gym. Aaron puts a lot of time into his jump shot. And I think, we have guys in our team that, they've been guarded certain ways, and okay, like, keep guarding me like that. I'm going to make you pay. And not that tonight was the case. Aaron just got going early, and it was fun to watch, and I was happy for him. This has been such a challenging year in terms of in the lineup, out of the lineup, back in, back out. And for him to go out there and have a night like he had tonight, you just feel a lot of joy for him.
Coach, how tough of a challenge are the next two games going to be in Oklahoma?
I'm enjoying tonight, man.
All right, there's Coach Malone after the Nuggets 149-141 win. Yeah, some really good stuff there from Michael Malone talking about Aaron Gordon's work habits. It really is amazing how basically impossible it is to defend the Nuggets when you've got your 7-foot center and your 6'9" power forward shooting, damn near 50% from the 3-point line. When the Nuggets can do that, specifically Aaron Gordon, because Joker has been so good from the 3-point line this year. But when Aaron Gordon is hitting 3-pointers at 40% or above, this team is impossible to cover. I mean, and then you add in guys like Christian Brown, Jamal, and Michael Porter Jr., who are supposed to be out there doing that. Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon should not be able to hit the 3-pointers that they do. That's what makes this offense so potent and effective. And when they're doing that, there is no answer to guard these guys. I mean, you just heard Coach Malone say it. Like, when these guys are defended in certain ways, when they're not supposed to be hitting 3-pointers, specifically talking about Joker and AG, if they knock down threes early on in games, that completely blows up the opposing team's defensive game plan. And that's exactly what happened here tonight with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, Aaron Gordon comes out and hits 4 threes in a row in the first quarter. If you're Phoenix, if you're Phoenix's coaching staff, what do you tell these guys? There's nothing you can do. And that's what we saw here tonight. So again, I've always said I think it's really important for guys like Michael Porter Jr. early on in games to get to the rim, not only just to see the ball go through the hoop and give himself some confidence early on in games, but to keep the defense honest that he's not just going to sit around the perimeter and shoot jump shots all night. Well, it's kind of the inverse with Nikola and Aaron Gordon. If those two guys can hit a 3 or 2 in the first half, and like tonight we saw in the first quarter, man, does that make things nearly impossible for the opposing team's defense. It just makes it absolutely damn near impossible. Another record tying stat from Nikola. So let me reset the stats here I mentioned earlier. So Nikola Jokic, record-setting night. First player in NBA history to have a 30, 20, and 20 game. In fact, it was actually better than that. It was 31, 22 assists, and 21 rebounds. How about that? It was the most assists in a game by a center in NBA history. He tied LeBron in 30-point triple-doubles, and it was the most assists in a 30-point triple-double in NBA history. One other really cool stat from tonight. So Nikola Jokic just had his 15th ever 15, 15, and 15 game, 15 point, 15 rebound, 15 assist game. He's now tied with Oscar Robertson for the most ever. Oscar retired with 15 of those types of games. Nikola Jokic has it in year 10. He'll probably break that record this year with the way he's playing right now. And again, I go back to what I said earlier, with how bad the Nuggets have been on national TV this year. We've talked a lot about how that is hurting his MVP case. Well, this was a nationally televised game on ESPN tonight. And for Jokic to have that kind of performance, man, that's got to really sway a lot of the voters back in his direction. And I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is having an absolutely phenomenal year. The Thunder are on fire right now. But this kind of performance that we saw tonight, we've never seen before, ever. And I don't know if there's a single game that you can point to with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this year where you've said we've never seen that. Never in the history of this game. And it seems like we're saying that maybe once a week with Nikola Jokic this year. In fact, if you look at the numbers, if you look at player efficiency rating, I've talked about this all season long. If you go by player efficiency rating, PER, Nikola Jokic is having the best season in NBA history. So, look, at this point in the Jokic era, and at this point in his career, me personally, I don't really care about the MVP award, okay? Let me just say that. I do care about this team winning championships. Now, for Nikola Jokic's legacy, I do understand why fans care about the MVP, okay? And for the first couple of years, I did too, because we had never seen that in the Mile High City where a Denver Nugget basketball player won the MVP. Well, he's got 3 now. And it is to the point where, like, if he gets to 4, and that would be 4 in 5 years, you're talking about a 5-year, and he should have gotten it the year Joel Embiid got it, okay? Maybe I care a little bit about the MVP, but I care more about titles. But my point is, this 5-year stretch, it's the best 5-year stretch in NBA history, just purely on individual performance. Better than LeBron, better than Michael Jordan, better than Bill Russell, better than Oscar Robertson, better than everybody from an individual standpoint. Now, obviously, the championships, he's got 1, and for Jokic to truly be in the conversation of a, like, top 10, top 5 player in NBA history, I think he's got to get to at least 3. He's got to get at least 3, in my opinion, to really be in that conversation. Because you look at a guy like Dirk Nowitzki, right? Excellent Hall of Fame player. But he's not going to be remembered as probably even a top 20 player in the history of the game because he has 1 title. So obviously Nikola Jokic has had a better career than Dirk Nowitzki ever did. And that's not a slight to Dirk Nowitzki. He was, like I said, Hall of Fame player, excellent. I thought he really helped revolutionize the game as far as how fans felt about European players. Because if you remember, when I was a kid growing up, when teams drafted European players, you're like, shit, this guy's soft. I mean, Dirk really did blaze that trail for European players to where we're at the point in today's game where, honestly, the NBA is basically dominated by European players, by non-Americans. Now, there's still great American players, but the scales have really shifted towards the Europeans as far as, like, the top tier players in the game. I mean, who are the best young up and coming American players? Obviously, Anthony Edwards is going to be there. Jason Tatum, I would throw in there as well. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing several players, but, like, I'm talking like young, the next generation stars. There's not really a Kevin Durant type player that's young and up and coming. Maybe Anthony Edwards is like the next sort of Kyrie mixed with like Donovan Mitchell is kind of how I view Anthony Edwards in a way. But it really was cool to see. And then, it was cool to see Dirk Nowitzki really pave the way, but he's not going to be remembered as like an all-time great. And if Nikola can get to 3 titles, he will go down as is not just the best center in NBA history, but one of the best players to ever play this game, which would be just an unbelievable thing considering before Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets had never even had an MVP. I mean, that's what's so wild about what Nikola Jokic is doing, from going to never having an MVP to having one of the best players ever. It's been a wild ride, and he just deserves all the praise in the world. When I was walking up here, there were a bunch of little kids down in the high-fiving them, picking them up. I think his daughter was here. Like he's just as good a dude off the court as he is on the court, which makes everybody love him even more. So that was really cool to see tonight. And what a game. And you just heard Coach Malone say it. I actually went down and filmed Peyton Watson for our post-game interview on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We'll be putting that video out. I'm not sure exactly when, but at some point we'll be putting that video out. So I'm hanging out right by the court, actually right by the Nuggets bench. And it really is amazing. Like, I'm up in Connor's hockey booth right now, and this is my spot. And I actually really do enjoy it up here. But it really is amazing the intensity of the crowd when you're up this high versus when you're on floor level. I mean, it really is like shocking. It's not that it's like quiet when I'm up here, but when you're down low on the court area, it is insane how much louder and just how much more intense the environment becomes when you're down there. And you just heard Coach Malone saying the crowd was absolutely rocking tonight. And when I went down there, I was like, oh my God, like, he is not kidding. This place was on fire. So shout out to any of you watching who were at the game tonight. 101st straight sellout. By the way, Coach Malone loves to mention that after every game. And I don't blame him, by the way. I would too, because I remember, early on in Coach Malone's tenure here, this place was half empty. Okay. And to have 101 consecutive sellouts in this building for this Nuggets basketball team is an incredible accomplishment for this organization and for Coach Malone and Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and everybody else. That was really cool to see. And shout out to the crowd here at Ball Arena tonight, because it was, like I said, it was absolutely rocking in here. Okay, so final thoughts here. The Nuggets needed this win badly, okay, because the Suns, granted, they are basically fully healthy now, and I don't think they're as bad as their record says they are. They just have so much talent on that team, but they've been really banged up all year. So tonight it almost felt like a little bit of a trap game for Denver, because you've got 2 massive road games coming up on Sunday and Monday against the best team in the NBA, in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, I do think they're better than Cleveland, just by a hair. 2 road games back-to-back, Sunday and Monday, in Oklahoma City. They needed this win tonight, because I tell you what, Oklahoma City is on absolute fire right now. I mean, that team has it just rolling. Now, I'm going to call my shot here with 19, 18 games left to go in the season. Oklahoma City has that vibe to me. And I said last year that they were still a year or 2 away, and I was right about that. They got knocked out of the playoffs. They're an excellent basketball team. There's no question about it. And Chet Holmgren, the job they did without him, where he missed a ton of games this year, was very commendable. And they're a very deep team. But Oklahoma City has that feeling to me, just total gut feeling, that they're going to be one of those teams that has just an incredible regular season and then falters in the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to say which round they're going to falter in, but I'll just say this. I just have a gut feeling that Oklahoma City is not going to get out of the West this year. I still think they're just maybe a tad bit too young and inexperienced. And the reason I believe this, one of the reasons, is because look at how many playoff trials that the Nuggets had to go through before they were finally able to break through. Now, granted, there's a lot of caveats in there. Obviously, the Jamal injury, the year Aaron Gordon was here, boy, that team, what did they play 9 games together before Jamal tore his ACL in San Francisco against the Warriors? That really did feel like a team that was on the cusp of breaking through, potentially even that season. But Jamal goes down, and they kind of falter in the playoffs the next couple of seasons until he gets back, and then they win the championship. I just have a feeling that Oklahoma City needs to have their hearts broken one more time in the playoffs before they're really viable to be true contenders out of the West. Now, look, I could be wrong, and they could just blitz through the Western Conference and win the championship this year. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened, okay, because they are an excellent basketball team. But I do think that's something that a lot of people around the league are overlooking about the Nuggets right now, is how battle-tested they've been, not only just through the course of this era, but even this season with all of the injuries they've had. Aaron Gordon's been in and out of the lineup. Jamal Murray's been in and out of the lineup. Nikola Jokic has been dealing with nagging injuries. Julian Strawther's out for a month. Peyton Watson just got back from being out for a month. That can be a really big positive for teams where they're just battle tested throughout a rigorous NBA regular season. And I think that the Nuggets have learned a lot of lessons through the course of this regular season. One of those lessons being that Zeke Naji might be able to contribute to this team in the playoffs. I mean, raise your hand if you saw that coming. I shouldn't raise my hand because I did not. But this team is deeper than I thought it was at the beginning of the year. Now, obviously, Dario Saric is out. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if he got any meaningful playing time, barring any injuries, knocking on wood here. I would be shocked if he got any meaningful playing time for the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs. But if this team is decently healthy heading into the playoffs and very rested, man, I really think they have a shot. But I'll tell you what, these 2 games against Oklahoma City are going to be a really good early litmus test for the playoffs. This is kind of a playoff atmosphere. Now, they're not going to have a day off in between, but they are playing 2 straight games on the road in Oklahoma City, and we could see that come playoff time. So, look, I think this is a great opportunity for the Nuggets to prove to the rest of the league, prove to the Thunder, prove to themselves that this team is good enough to get out of the West this year. And game by game, my confidence grows a little bit more that they're going to be able to do that. And look, with the way Nikola Jokic is playing right now, this team has a shot. I mean, it's really as simple as that. So we'll see what happens. But hey, excellent win for the Nuggets tonight. They beat the Phoenix Suns in overtime. They are technically, again, tied with the Lakers in the Western Conference. They're both 11 games back of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Lakers do have the tiebreaker, and they have 2 games in hand. So we'll see what that's going to be. Really, that's going to be the fun race coming down the wire here towards the end of the season, is who is going to get the 2 seed. Memphis could sneak in there, maybe Houston. Again, just those 2 teams are just a little bit too young. I like what they're doing. I don't think they're going to be in contention for the 3 or the 2 seed. I think that battle is going to be played out between the Nuggets and the Lakers, and it's going to be a fun ride. So, look, that's going to do it for the post-game show tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Again, the Nuggets get the overtime win over the Phoenix Suns and improve to 41-22 on the year. 2 massive road games coming up in Oklahoma City starting on Sunday. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.